All right, thanks for joining us today for this quick look at Spider-Man number 62 from War of the Realms set. He is one of the best chases in this set, in my opinion. He's coming in with the Asgardian Avengers Spider-Man family, future, past, and scientist keywords. We're going to take a look at his traits and abilities. We'll take a look at his dial. And then we will take a look at an example on the battlefield of what makes him so great. Okay, let's get right to it. He has the following trait: super senses. Also, when Spider-Man uses it, increase the result by +1 for each time the attack was re-rolled. So your super senses is usually a 5/6. But then you're increasing a +1 to that roll every time the attack was re-rolled. Okay, so it can easily, he's going to be starting with prob. It will easily then be a 4/5/6 and could very quickly become anything but a 1. Because remember, no matter how many pluses you add on there, the 1 is still a failure and 6 is still a success, no matter what kind of modifiers are going on. Okay, and then his special attack power is when making an attack roll, Spider-Man may roll 3 dice instead of 2. And then, after any re-rolls or die replacements, choose 1 die to ignore. Also, when Spider-Man is attacked, you may choose the opposing attacker rolls 3 die instead of 2. Then, after any re-rolls or any die replacements, choose 1 die to ignore. That right there is what completely changes the odds and percentages going on in your Heroclix game. So that right there is can completely change the flow of the game and how the attacks and defense all come into play. Okay, then he also has a special damage power, which is probability control. Spider-Man and adjacent friendly characters have safeguard opposing probability control. So when he attacks, he can be rolling, if he has that special attack power showing, he can roll 3 dice and then ignore 1 of them. He can prob himself, but your opponent cannot prob. He's protected from that. He's has safeguarded that opposing prob. Okay. When your opponent attacks you, he can make them roll 3 and then remove 1 of theirs, and he can make them re-roll those 3 with his prob. So completely changes the odds. Now you'll notice he does not have any other type of protected outwit or safeguarded outwit. So your opponent could outwit some of these things that are going on there, but he has 3 pretty good things. So it's going to be a little bit tough for them to choose which one they want to shut off. Okay. Now, when he's attacked, he can make them re-roll, and then his traded super senses, he would get the +1 because he made them re-roll it. If he has other figures around him that can use prob, make a re-roll, then that super senses is going to be a high percentage. He also has wild card team ability. He comes in at 75 points, triple target, 6 range. Remember, you can use those triple targets up close also, so he can target 3 adjacent opposing characters with his close attacks. His power set 75, you're looking at that top click with charge, 10 movement, so 5, and then he can punch. 11 attack, 18 defense with combat reflexes, making him a 20 up close, and 3 damage with that special damage power. That top click is what it's all about. It's going to be hard to knock him off of that. If they do knock him off of there, you'll see click 2 has in cap. Then at the end of the dial, he's going to be having some sidestep and the willpower at the end there. Okay, but prob throughout, either the special prob or the regular prob on clicks 3 and 4. And then he has 4 clicks of that special attack power. Okay, let's take a look here at this example of how you could use them. Okay, and then we'll actually roll out some dice and see how that works out too. So for this example, what we have is we have Spider-Man over here. We have his opponents across the board with the Executioner and Mad Hatter. If you can't see on the map, what you have here is Spider-Man's on 3 elevation. This is a square blocking. Elevation is here. Okay, this is elevation 1. Then here's elevation 2. Elevation 3 is where the opponents are at. Square blocking, square blocking. Okay, Spider-Man has improved movement elevation and that 5 charge, 10 movement, so he can charge for 5. So he could charge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get right up in there. This Spider-Man, with him being so hard to hit and the combat reflexes, you want to get him right in there adjacent to people, so he's going to be a 20 to hit with super senses, with the 3 dice, with the prob. So even if you're running up against some outwit, they might shut off one of those things, but 20 is going to be hard to hit. If they shut that off, then he has the 3 dice and the prob and the super senses. If they shut off his prob, then you still have 3 dice at 20, which is hard to hit. So he has all kinds of things going on here. So even against outwit, you have some options. But let's say he just moves up there, makes his attack, hits, doesn't hit, doesn't matter for this example. So Executioner has an 11 attack, and that's pretty average. Spider-Man then would be a 20 to hit. So let's see how this die stuff would work out. So Executioner makes an attack on Spider-Man's 20. He needs a 9, which is not an easy roll to start with. Spider-Man's special attack power makes it so that Executioner would have to roll 3. Okay, and right here what we have is a 6, a 4, and a 1. So the Executioner could still be probbed. Okay, only Spider-Man has protected opposing or safeguarded opposing prob. So his teammate, if they had prob, they could prob that. But let's say that we end up with this. It's kind of an average thing. He has a 6, a 4, and a 1. So a low die, a middle die, and a high die. Spider-Man then can just say, okay, we are going to ignore the 6. So there's a 5. That's a miss. Okay. Let's say it was 2 6s and a 3. So there would be a hit no matter what. Spider-Man can prob it, make him re-roll. Okay. Now he has 4 and above on every die, but he still needed a 9 to get him. So we could just ignore that 5, and there's an 8. It's a miss. Okay. 12 attack, you would have to get some kind of combination along those lines of all average or above average dies so that you can be hitting a 20. Okay. Now, if that did happen, say it was 2 5s and a 4, so no matter what there, it gets probbed, it gets re-rolled, or you're looking at 2 5s and a 4. If Executioner is an 11, or even if he was boosted up to a 12, we couldn't get rid of one of those dice to make it a miss, no matter what, that's an attack. But because we made them re-roll it, now our super senses would kick in, where it would be a 4, 5, or 6. So we have a 50-50 shot of super sensing out of that, even if they do get extremely good rolls on all 3 of the dies. All right, this Spider-Man is going to be super durable. I'm sure you're going to see him played on a bunch of different teams. 75 points gives you all kinds of things you can build around him. You can even just use him like we just did here as kind of a super hard to hit tie-up piece. And then you have, on a standard 300 build, you have 225 points that you can build around range attackers, all kinds of other things that you could do. So yeah, super useful, good point value. Really impressed. The wild card you can build in there, give him some good team abilities. All right, I think it's super solid, pretty cool mechanic going on with what he does. I like it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any team builds already designed to use this Spider-Man. Thanks for watching. Check it out. If you dig what we do, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.